So this drawing that I'm attempting to draw today, I found myself slowing down more and more doing these videos. I'm doing so much measuring and things that I don't really want to be doing and taking forever. So I'm gonna try to break free of that a little bit and get back into the other approaches. So one thing I'm gonna use, I'm just gonna try to use this compressed graphite stick. It's 2B. I wish they made these in hard lead, but they don't, because I guess everybody in the world is stupid. This will keep me from going into too much intricate detail. Like I say, to me, a pencil is a chisel, and that's what I mean. I go into detail using the edge of the pencil and how, I'm digging into the paper and stuff. I'm aware of these things. I'm not just sloppily putting down stiff, hard lines for no reason. I'm aware, even though I don't really intend to ink on this surface, that you need to learn how to rough. You need to know that you're digging into your paper and you're hurting your paper every time you erase. You need to be very aware of how hard you are on your paper and what lines, grooves you're digging into the paper with your pencil. So the pencil is a chisel, but I'm going to try to get away from that a little bit, and I'm going to use this graphite stick to sort of rough things out today. Hopefully it'll work out for me. And I wanted to talk about another thing of moving fast. Comic book artists, although you can use reference, typically the comic book profession has to have some level of efficiency. Things need to be done on a schedule, and they need to be done quick. So going back and forth from reference or life drawing and measuring things out to make it exactly what you see isn't going to be the fastest method of doing things. So like you get wire figures, stick figures, artists learn to use in order to sort of get the foundation of a human body. John Buscema's drawing the Marvel Way, he talks about that a little bit, where he lays out a figure using a basic, a couple of circles here, circle for the midsection, your rib cage, your torso, or an oval, and an oval for your hips, and similar to Andrew Loomis's figure. And that's really the basis for this efficiency in comic books I'm talking about, being able to do things quickly. Because once you get a foundation down, you can pretty much, and you know your anatomy well enough, you can pretty much get away from the life drawing, going back and forth and measuring and getting everything, just perfect. And sort of just like, okay, there's my foundation, and it's gonna work this way with the foundation, and you can draw using your rhythm lines that you know, and how to create a drawing, and it's gonna be much quicker. It's gonna be much more boiled down into a logical representation that works. Midsection, the spine is in there. The spine comes up above, and I like to do sort of a little ball on the top of it, like a tennis ball, say. And then I like to think of that tennis ball as being inside of the skull, sort of like the seed in a peach or something. And I don't like to use shapes, but here's a shape for her shoulder. I'm just going to use sort of a little bit of an outline or whatever here for her shoulder. I don't really like bubble figures, but just to rough this out a little bit, I'm gonna use something here. Okay, well, that's the basic foundation for the upper body I've got so far. Just sort of getting his arm in there, getting the elbow sort of placed where I think it should be. And that's part of the problem with 2B, not being able to use hard lead. Things sort of smear around a lot. Leaves a lot of lead on the paper, graphite. So it's not good for roughing, to me starts to muddle things, make things confusing, but they don't make these in hard lead, so I'm just gonna have to live with it. And so, and you can put a circle in for the hips. I'm gonna stick to my method a little bit and not use a circle, but sort of get myself a structure going. I sort of like to use, you know, sort of that underwear shape in order to sort of get things going, the pelvis and stuff. I can see that it carries through from one knee to the other, it lines up, so I was using that. And like I was saying, I like to think that moving fast also helps capture some of the energy of what's going on and what you're looking at. The whole weight and momentum and you know, the urgency of what's going on. I think when you move fast, it can help those long swooping lines that you're using instead of the measured, short, logical lines that you use. They help to add that energy and flow to what's going on, I think. Like I said before, it's easy to see angles. It shouldn't be that difficult for you to be able to look at a reference and say, oh, it's at that angle, and just put it on your page. Since your limbic brain automatically picks things up, trying to break it into logic so much, it's a lot more accurate. So the more you're able to tap into that accuracy of just like putting down exactly what you see instead of having to think about it so much, the more accurate your drawing is actually going to be. It's just a practice thing. The more you practice it, you know, the more accurate you're going to be. You sit down with a sketch pad all day and do these silly shapes that come towards you, and that's a foreshortened arm, and you know, those shapes never work for me. You know, it's just one of those things I don't buy into that much. You really learn, you know, foreshortening and learning to see, learning what you're doing from life drawing, more so than trying to put logic behind all this stuff, you know. With a figure, human figure is 8 heads tall, so it's, you know, this many circles high. Yeah, it's a bunch of BS. Alright, before things get too muddled, I'm going to switch now. And since it's so dark, I think switching to the 4H isn't going to help me much. So I won't even be able to see it. So I'm going to have to go straight into actually putting in some dark lines. It's really muddled here, so that's why I'm kind of trying to focus on what's going on here. So you can sort of see how the shoulder can split up into different sections of the shoulder. This front part that's going right up into the your top part of your chest, that's sort of how that works. And the rear part sort of ties into your shoulder blade a little bit. And to me, I think of it as a draw through. Your shoulder and your back is really connected. You need to like learn to think of your shoulder and your back as being connected parts, connected muscles. It's all tied into your shoulder blade, really. You need to think of it that way. So I see like a chicken leg or a chicken wing sort of shape when I look at the back muscles and the shoulder sometimes from certain angles, like this angle here. Now this is just connected part of your shoulder here. And sometimes in the right light you can even see that 3 tiers, like 3 angles of the shoulder blade a little bit. I don't know if that's exactly what's going on here, but I'll draw it anyway. And I got the traps where I sort of see both traps. So a little concave portion here where it gets close to your spine and your neck. So I'm drawing that. And your chest too, of course. You know, your chest ties into your shoulder as well, so you need to think about the chest actually, you know, going under, tying into the shoulder muscle.